Hi everyone, I hope you're doing okay. This is just gonna be really quick. I don't really have a lot to share in this video, just kind of a little bit of an explanation of my situation and how I ended up pretty much leaving one of my contracts early. So if you're interested on how that works and you find yourself in a sad situation like that as well, then just stay tuned. I had to switch because the light on my house was being weird. Anyway, so long story short, I found myself in a very quite scary situation here in South Korea. As you guys know, if you saw the previous videos on how I got a job here, my school was a little bit all over the place from the beginning. I pretty much got my flight scheduled like 2 days before my flight happened, so that should have been a little trigger right then. Like, that should have given me an idea of how things were actually going to work out here. To begin with, I arrived end of August, and you are told to bring in some money because, of course, like, you're going to need the money to stay here because they don't pay you right away, right? In Korea, you get paid once a month. So 1 month passes and I still don't have payday. Stated date for pay was the 14th of every month for me. The 14th came along and nothing. The 15th, the 16th, the 17th, 20th, 25th. My first paycheck did not come to me until the 31st of October. Approximately 2 months into being here in South Korea. Unfortunately, the situation didn't change. November was the same, and then December started coming around and I started looking for new jobs because I was just not in a situation where I could sit around and wait to get paid whenever they wanted to. Well, whenever they wanted to pay me, really. I sought out help from my recruiter. I did a lot of researching online, and pretty much everything that kept being said, that kept being repeated was, before I could even get a new job and want to leave, I need to get a letter of release. And I saw a lot of horror stories about this letter of release. There was many that didn't want, like, that the school didn't want to give it to them. There's others that they were like willing to just, here, take it, go. There was others that had to fight it. I saw some people saying that they actually had to go to the labor department and get a letter of release from them. And in my mind, because I was going to grad school and I needed to pay off my school, and I wasn't making money the way that I wanted to, I wasn't saving money the way I wanted to, the way that you research all about here, it just wasn't happening with this school. So I made the decision, I reached out to my recruiter, and I started looking for other jobs. I got a contract that would allow me to start in December. I sat down, I talked to my director, and she explained their situation, and then said that it would be better. That she promised that January would be better, and that if I could at least stay until the end of their semester term in February, because otherwise it would extremely hurt the school, reputation-wise. And this school was a very, very small school. There was only 3 foreign teachers, and I personally thought there was too many. It was just not enough students, and there was just classes with 1 student, 2 students here and there. But anyway, so because she cried in front of me, I was like, okay, this is her life. This is her entire being here. She has devoted herself to this school for 10 years. I will go ahead and stay. I will figure it out. I will try to save up. I won't spend money. I'll only buy necessities. Nothing changed. January comes along, late pay. And finally, after Solna vacation, I just couldn't do it anymore. And I decided that it was just too much for myself, mentally, physically, emotionally. The environment in the school was terrible. Nobody was getting paid. Students weren't paying. Teachers were talking. Just the aura in general was very negative, and I decided that I didn't want to take part of that anymore. So I finally stood out and took the decision. I walked over to the labor department and I put in a formal complaint about my late payments, just to have it in the background, or just in case that I might need it if I would have to go through with getting a letter from the labor department, that the complaint was there and that it has been happening for the past 5 months of my contract. I was extremely lucky and I found an incredible job where I'm currently at. I came to interview with them over the break. They offered me a contract, and well, actually they said they wouldn't be able to offer me a contract until I got the letter. So after my interview on my bus ride back home, I sent a text message letting her know that I was leaving, letting my director know that I was leaving, whether they liked it or not. February would be my last month there. Starting in March, I would no longer be with the school. And I just made it clear that whether they wanted to help me make it easy or not, it was going to happen. And that's when the whole problem started. The director of this school that I'm currently at gave them a call, and they said they had to think about giving me my letter. So I had to start a fight for it. I let them know that I was going to leave no matter what. And that's because they had made me go through what they made me go through by lying and continuing to play me late and continuing to make me grab on or tackle on more debt, that this is the thing that they could do for me if they had any conscious, that they could just write this letter for me. And if they weren't going to write it, that I had already reported them and it was going to cause more issues for their school, so I could get it anyway, or I would be leaving Korea. It didn't matter. I was just no longer going to be there. I got extremely lucky, and they agreed. They actually agreed to give me this letter. And so this letter is pretty much all it says is this person under this ARC number or alien registration number was contracted under this position from this date until this date. After this date, they are free to move on. Like, we are no longer going to be sponsoring their stay in South Korea. Easy letter, quick. They wrote it in 5 minutes. It's the whole stigma about you were supposed to be dedicated to our school, we gave you the opportunity, etc., that causes a big issue. So a lot of problems happened after I asked for the letter and I was told that I was going to be giving it. They started nitpicking at all of my work, all my teaching, all my testing. They would jump in and out, literally scolding me for things like, oh, now you have it out for the kids, or why did you do this, or why aren't you checking on this and this and this, when before I had never gotten not a single complaint. So it was really tough to continue to move past that. And then my school had the audacity to ask me to pay back my flight and to pay back my recruitment fee. So I had to seek legal help. And I'm letting you guys know my experience because if you guys are going through this, I want you to know that there's people that have gone through it and that you can find ways to get out. Because in Korea, if they're afraid of anything, it's about they're afraid of getting sued, they're afraid of hurting their face, the face of the business. And so I made myself clear that I was going to do all of that. I said I was not paying the recruitment fee because it was just illegal. That's what I had heard. I went out and sought legal help, and they said the exact same thing. So they were not, no matter what, going to be able to do that. I made sure to record all our conversations that she would set aside for us to talk about, like my behavior, my work, or payment thereafter. They wanted me to pay back my flight in full. And because they booked it so late, it was expensive. It was about $1,200. And I was just not willing to do that because I was already getting paid late. I had school payments due, and I still had to move, order a truck to move, and then live a whole entire month at this new place without getting paid. So I had to fight that one as well and let them know that I would continue to go down the suing process because they had broken their contract first. The contract specified the 14th of every month, and they had never, not once, paid me on the 14th of every month. So I just had to be an advocate for myself. I had to go out and find information. I actually ended up retreating the labor department complaint that I put in or report because I just didn't want to have that negativity. I didn't want to be that person. They were obviously already struggling without being able to pay their school, their teachers, and they're obviously already struggling through this whole coronavirus situation that is going on here in South Korea. So I didn't want that to weigh on my heart. But moral of the story, if you're thinking about walking away from a job that is not working out for you for the right reasons, not just because you don't want to do it anymore, but because it's hurting you mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, if that's a decision you have to make, then you can make it. There are people out there that have been there, have done it, and can help you through it. It's just about looking out for the information that is out there. Yeah, that's my experience with the letter. If y'all have any questions, I know I went super fast, but If y'all have any questions at all about any of the details of any of it, just please let me know down in the comments below. It was really easy to switch contracts. Went to immigration the same way that I did when I first came here, handed them the paperwork with the new contract and my release letter, and my visa was switched over, and now I'm sponsored for another year. So you guys can do it. You can really do it. So good luck, and see you next time.